All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our second webinar. We are excited to have you all here today for our session on goal setting, dreaming big, and making our dreams a reality. Thanks to everyone who joined us last time. We hope you benefited from tools and found it helpful. Having said that, we did receive a lot of positive feedback from you guys, and I would like to share one highlight today. After doing the healing meditation, one of the participants told us that they had a restful sleep that night without the chronic pain they experience otherwise. For all our new participants, I would like to briefly recap, and just tell you quickly a bit about Teja. Teja was born at a time when most people found themselves confined within four walls, surrounded by negative news, feeling a little bit overwhelmed. So Teja's purpose is really to shift our mindset and make us look inward. As heavy as these words might sound, it can be done easily, one step at a time, with a plan and with some simple techniques. Today, Kalyani and Jayanti will share ways to define our goals, think outrageous, limitless, and take us through two simple yet highly effective tools for success. Some quick housekeeping before we begin. It would be handy if you have a notebook and a pen with you, just in case you need to make some notes. Um, and generally try and keep your profile on mute, especially during meditation. And if the meeting does time out after 40 minutes, please try to log back in using the same link which was provided. So let's begin. I will hand you over to Jayanti for our first guided meditation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sachin. It was a wonderful webinar last week. I received some great feedback from so many of you. So thank you for that. I'm really excited because this week we're going to talk about goals, about setting goals, about fulfilling our dreams. So it's a really interesting subject to talk about. But before we get started, I want to do a small guided relaxation meditation. So the reason why I want to do this is because it's really important that we set ourselves in this space where we are ready to receive information, when we're ready to grow, to soak it all in. And that's when we are really the best receptive version of ourselves, when we're in a relaxed and calm state of mind. So I want to go through a quick guided meditation, 5 minutes. So I'm going to have a audio track playing in the background as I'm going to guide you in this meditation. So let's get started.
Okay, we have some technical difficulties. We will share the screen again.
Okay, I hope you all can hear the track now. So sit comfortably in a relaxed, comfortable position. and close your eyes. I want to guide you through relaxing various parts of your body. Think about your head, your forehead. Release any tension from your forehead. Your eyes, the tissues that surround your eyes. Notice how relaxed they are. Think about your face. A gentle smile on the face always helps us relax better. Your neck, your shoulders and your back. Relax your shoulders, your chest and your abdomen. Relax. Breathe in through your belly, soft and slowly. Feel your belly expanding as you breathe. Relax your hips and your pelvic area. Relax your legs, your thighs, your calves, your feet. Now, I want you to take a very slow and deep belly breath. And as you breathe out for 3, 1, 2, 3. Breathe in once again and breathe out. Now, I want you to imagine tranquil and peaceful scenes in your mind. Think about a lake in a moonlit surrounding and the reflection of the moon on the lake, very peaceful and calm. Think about a beach, a quiet, calm beach, and feel the warmth of the sand on your body. Hear the waves of the ocean crashing. Think about lying on a relaxing hammock amongst the trees. Feel the soft wind brushing through your body. Picture mountains at a distance with snow caps, beautiful and peaceful. Picture vast fields of flowers. Think about the beauty and the color of these flowers. Notice them swaying softly with the wind. As you allow these peaceful scenarios to calm you, breathe in again through your belly, deeply, and breathe out softly for 3 counts. 1, 2, and 3. Know that your mind and body are completely relaxed now, and you are ready to receive all this information. You are ready to grow and accomplish all your goals. At the count of 3, you will be out of this meditation. You'll be awake. You'll be feeling better than before, more relaxed than you were before. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open and feeling better than before. So I hope that was a good exercise for you. I know we had some technical difficulties with the sound, but I had my voice, and I hope that it was a guided meditation that really helped you relax.
All right. Thank you very much, Jayanti. Um, can you please confirm what slide you can see? Is it the slide on goal setting? Can you show me a thumbs up if that's the slide you can see? Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So, Jayanti, do you want to say something quickly?
So, I'm really excited to start on the subject of goal setting today. Uh, and but before we get started, I want to highlight that there are some problems with goal setting at the moment, which a lot of people are doing. They're setting goals, but they're not setting goals in the right way, and they're not setting the right kind of goals. Kalyani, do you want to highlight on what are the problems with goal setting that you can think about?
Yes. So, hello everyone. Welcome. I'm so excited to see you all in this session about goal setting, manifesting your dreams, and dreaming really big and limitless. So, let me talk about goals. What are goals? What kind of question is this? It's a very simple question, but can you share in the chat window how you define goals? What does a goal mean to you? Can you share in the chat window? What does someone want to say what they think a goal is for them? Yep, okay, I've got a good one. And aim that you work towards. Yep, that's pretty good. Anyone else would like to share something? To go from one point to another, mission or wishful work. Oh, wishful work. I love that one. A point to reach later with work and an ideal too. Excellent. Be healthy. Yeah, that's pretty relevant to all of us. Okay. Something you wish to achieve for accomplishing something you fear at times. Another really relevant, spot on one. Thank you everyone for sharing that. So let me start by telling you what goal setting is. And I think there are some inherent problems with goals. The thing is, goals today are vague. They're not aligned with our core values. Perhaps we're trying to fit in too much with society. We are comparing ourselves to something someone else has achieved. We want to probably exceed that. But do we actually look in and see, is that something that we really desire? A goal that matches your core values is something that is really critical in the exercise of goal setting. So I'm going to ask Jayanti to share what exactly core values and what does it mean to align a goal to your core values. Jayanti.
So, I think there is this beautiful idea that I want to share with you about valued living versus goal oriented living. And what is a value really? A value is something that's a process, it's something that's ongoing, that's something inherent to us, something we live by each and every day, whereas a goal is one event in our lives. And I want to give you an example of how valued living versus goal oriented living. Uh, and especially in these times, we really need to question and think about whether our goals are really our own goals. Are they something that's in alignment with our core, or is it something that we borrowed from social media? Uh, in this day and age, especially now when we're spending so much time on social media because we're at home, we tend to become, I found this really interesting word called comparison junkies. And we're slowly turning into comparison junkies because we're comparing ourselves constantly by looking at pictures on social media. And if, for example, if you're single, you're seeing all your friends getting married and you're looking at, oh, who wore this amazing designer dress at her wedding? And I want to do that as well. So is that really your goal? Uh, Whereas I would say, think about values as opposed to that. What's a value that could really be connecting with? If you want to attract a partner in your life, perhaps the value that you're looking for is that you are a very loving person, and you want to give and receive love. So that's a very value oriented approach, as opposed to I want to get married and I want to wear that designer dress at my wedding. Sure, it's a great goal to have, but is it something at your core? So it's really important that we connect to our very core and think about whether or not we're in alignment with our values. Kalyani, do you want to add something more about what's the problems with goal setting? What are some other problems?
Yes, so let me bring you to this really common concept of SMART goals. I'm sure most of you would know what SMART goals are. So SMART is the acronym: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely. Jayanti and I kind of disagree with SMART goals. We think that SMART goals are kind of dumb. We'll come to that a bit later. But what I like about the SMART goal, the acronym that I most like is specific. So being specific is really important with a goal. I had a conversation with someone the other day and I asked, what is your goal? And they said their goal is to be financially free. The word financially free sounds so exciting and so liberating. So I counter questioned and I asked, what is financially free? And the answer didn't come instantaneously, which means that you're thinking of this goal, but what is it? And why is it important to you? So financially free for them equaled being debt free, not having a mortgage. I mean, who wouldn't like that? We all want to be debt free. So why is it important to you? This I find is like the most important underlying question you need to ask yourself when you set a goal. For them, the underlying feeling was the feeling of being liberated, the feeling of having that money that they could use to do truly what they love, to travel the world, probably to help someone in need, probably to give to underprivileged children, building a school for underprivileged children, doing something to improve society. So when you ask the why, that is the really empowering thing about your goal. So in my view, having a specificity about the goal really makes the goal quite real. And knowing exactly why you want that goal to be true in your life is something that's really important. What do you think, Jayanti? Do you want to say something about smart versus dumb goals?
Sure. I definitely agree with you about how the why in the goal is so important. But I think in terms of smart goals, I really don't like the A and the R of the smart goal, because I don't think goals should really be achievable and realistic. If you're being realistic, is that even a goal? That's just this idea that your happiness is so tied down to this goal that if you don't achieve it, you're going to be so unhappy. And that's literally you postponing your happiness to a future point when you will achieve that goal. And this way you're going to keep pushing your happiness farther and farther away. Instead of that, I want to pose this idea that let's not attach our happiness to the goal. Let's be happy now, so that we can really goal big. Smart goals are dumb. Instead of that, I think dumb goals are better, because dumb goals are really smart. And by dumb goals, I mean we've come up with this acronym of ourselves, where dumb goal stands for dream until your mind is blown. So if you had a dream that was so big and you achieved it, you'd be so mind blown. And you can only do that if the fear of failure was taken out of this process of goal setting. So if you had no fear of failure, that's when you can truly start dreaming and think about goals. So I want to give a small example from my own life where this fear of failure was a key factor in terms of taking a decision. So last year, a few months ago, I had this decision to make about submitting a research paper to a journal. And I had two options. One of the options was a less impactful journal, and the other was a more impactful journal. And there's a bunch of people who told me, hey, why do you want to take that chance of submitting to that better journal? Because it's going to be so disheartening for you when you don't achieve that, and very few people get it. It's probably not going to happen. Just do the moderate thing, just do the average thing, and then you'll get by it and you'll be happy. Your happiness is then guaranteed, it's stamped. And if you take that away. And I said, well, I have no emotional attachment to this. It's just a piece of work. And when I took that away, I said, I'm going to take my chance. I'm not listening to you guys. And I decided to submit it to the better journal. And in few months' time, I actually got accepted. So that's a chance that I took. And if I had the fear of failure limiting me, I would have never taken that chance. So it's really critical to think about that fear of failure, which limits us in so many ways. Kalyani, do you want to build up on that with some other examples or something?
Absolutely. So, as Jayanti mentioned, fear of failure really does hold us back. And what I call the analytical mind, the mind that the way the mind is, or the brain is geared, is to protect us from danger. That's the primitive thinking, right? And that's how constantly the messaging, the conditioning, the belief systems all tell us to protect ourselves. And that's where this fear of failure originates from. So going back to that example of someone who wanted to be debt free, for example, they might have so many action steps that they take already to ensure that they are putting more money into their mortgage. For example, a simple example, if they are already taking out a certain chunk of their income and placing it into a separate savings pot to put additionally into their mortgage so they can repay the mortgage quicker. What happens if they fail? What if they do it on a month by month basis, and what if they fail once? The average mentality would be, if you fail once, you would think, oh my God, this is all too hard. I give up. This is not going to work. Then it goes back to, I'm never going to be debt free. I'm going to be stuck with this situation all my life. Versus, what if I made that into a dumb goal? What if I said, I want to be debt free in 2 years? I know your analytical mind will jump in straight away going, that's rubbish. That's not practical. How's that even going to happen? You don't have the income. But remember the technique we learned in the last session called cancel. So for the benefit of the new participants, I'm just going to tell you a very, very simple technique. Whenever you have negative thoughts, just become aware of it. Just become aware of the thought and just consciously say, cancel. For example, a really, really common thing is someone who very backhandedly will say, oh, I'm so bad at remembering names. Oh, I've got such bad memory. As soon as you catch yourself saying that, just say, cancel. You can't suddenly say, oh, I'm excellent at remembering names. But you can say, today I remembered this, or from tomorrow, I'm going to be better. I'm already getting better at this. Just catching that negative thought and saying cancel, superimposing it with something that shows that you're on track to make a change, you're willing to make a change, will have a big impact. So if I just said cancel, if I failed 1 month, who cares? I am more focused on the feeling of liberation. The emotion has got tremendous power, more than what the practical reality is, to be honest. You feel the feeling of, when I'm debt free, I'm going to travel. I'm going to get those enriching experiences. I'm going to help people. What if I failed 1 month? But look at the 5 months that I've already saved and put it into the mortgage. I'm on track to be successful already. So just removing that fear of failure is incredibly powerful, especially in looking back at all the successes that you have already achieved. What do you think, Jayanti?
100%. I definitely agree with you. And I definitely also feel that sometimes we're so harsh on ourselves. We don't give ourselves the permission to fail. And if we could just do that, that's when we could really set the dumb goal. So we'd be a dumb failure. And I would love that.
So after having all that discussion about smart versus dumb, Jayanti, would you like to take our participants through the quick exercise?
Yeah, sure. So because of all of this that you just heard, can all of you share some goals with me? But before you do that, I want you to share a goal with me, with bearing this idea in mind that I'm giving you this infinite blessing right now. That and I'm a goddess, trust me. So I'm giving you this infinite blessing right now that you have unlimited amount of money and you have all the time in the world, more than 24 hours in a day, how many ever hours you want in a day. And I'm telling you right now that you are never going to fail. You cannot fail. And if I told you these three conditions, what would your goals be? Can you type something in the chat?
We'll love to hear it. And honestly, we've been practicing some of the dumb goals in our life, and even the tiniest things that can happen will really inspire you and amaze you. Someone said, help others as much as possible. That's very, very high values and so rewarding. Research with a lot of funding. Wow.
That's the dream.
That too.
I would love that. I love this world.
Start my own startup. Yes, that's the kind of goals I want to hear. Travel the world, have a house in all the continents. Wow, I would love that too. Fantastic. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for sharing. And so with that, because we've now opened up our mind, there's some really cool examples there. Helping refugees, making others happy. And people are really narrowing in on their passion, which is incredible. So now that we have those dumb goals that we're motivated about, what do we need? We need some tools to start taking action towards those goals. Start getting them closer and closer to manifest into our reality. Which takes me to the next thing, and you've shared your goals, which is amazing. So one of the tools we're going to talk about is creative visualization. So what is creative visualization? I think some of you think it's daydreaming. Is it? I won't disagree. It is an incredibly powerful and proven tool. It is about imagination. It's about using your imagination to harness greater benefits and advantages for you. Is it magic? No, it's not. Of course it's not. And the analytical mind and the conditioning of our mind will always question imagination, creativity. The logic and the analysis, unfortunately, always tries to take over the imagination and creativity. But this is the exercise. So when you practice this creative visualization, your imagination actually grows stronger. It's like going to the gym and working out your muscles. The skeptics will always be there. The advocates of hard work, especially, they might think that creative visualization is BS theory. There may be doubts, but I take the approach of what is there to lose. For example, if you had this goal of being fit, you are motivated, you decide to go to the gym every day, you sign up to F45, you wake up every morning, you work out sincerely at the gym, you're on track. The average thinking would be along the lines of, I've signed up, but what if I miss a class? What if I don't utilize the membership and lose money? What if I don't follow the diet? What if I go to this party and eat too much dessert? So this preconditioned thinking leads us to self-sabotage, basically. So now that we know about cancel, a simple way of overwriting this would be, you would just say, when you get those negative thoughts, you say, stop, cancel. You try to use creative visualization a minute or two just before you start your workout. So you just close your eyes, relax your body, and say to yourself, today's workout is going to bring me immense benefits. I am going to be stronger after this workout. My immunity is going to be amazing. I am going to enjoy each workout more and more. My body is getting better. I am in shape and I'm fit. All I ask you to do is try this exercise for a fortnight, a month, and I can tell you, you will be amazing yourself. You truly will be. So what I'm trying to get at is creative visualization is a practice. So even if it is not crystal clear to us how it works, we can still use it for our advantage. So a very simple analogy is that the sun, we know more about the sun today than we knew many, many years ago. We know today that the sun is a star, that the sun, the light and the heat from the sun comes due to the combustion, the reaction between the gases. But 40,000 years ago, human race didn't know about the sun. Does it mean that they did not harness the energy of the sun? Did they not take advantage of the light? Did they not use the sun to find direction? Absolutely, they did. So why not use that simplistic framework to say, what have I got to lose? Let me try it out. With practice, you will realize that you will actually override old beliefs that don't help you anymore. Why would you want to hold on to thinking that is not helping you anymore? Your subconscious mind, and this is really amazing, it does not understand the difference between imagination and reality. So the more you visualize, your imagination is building those neural pathways that are actually making you feel like your goal is real. It can happen and it will happen. So let me get into creative visualization exercise, but before that I'll quickly go through some more advantages. So what are the benefits? It helps you achieve your desired outcome, gives you clarity, you get more benefits from workout. This was the really simple one that you can test straight away. Gives you the feeling of a mental rehearsal. So we give so much importance to practice and rehearsal, but why don't we give importance to mental rehearsal for achieving our goal? That is an incredible feeling. It helps you perform better. I can give you some examples of people who practice creative visualization for greater success. So Olympic athletes, actors, speakers, all of them practice creative visualization. Olympic athletes train for hours, days, months to keep their body in the perfect shape, work on their diet, work on their mindset. But what sets the winners apart is this exercise of creative visualization. They have visualized the gold medal around their neck long time before they've actually got into any grueling routine. And that really does set them apart. And I'll leave you with a quote. Losers visualize the penalties of failures. And I'm not trying to label losers or winners, but I would rather say the lay mentality or average mentality visualizes on the penalties of the failures, but winners visualize on the rewards of success. So let's just try it out. Just try to focus on the success, try to focus on the possibilities. And that leads me to the next exercise. Are you ready to do creative visualization? Show me a thumbs up if you're ready. Fantastic. Thank you, everyone. I am going to play a track in the background. So you have to give me a thumbs up if you can hear it. Can you hear that music? Fantastic. We'll start the creative visualization meditation. Find a comfortable sitting position. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. I will help you relax with a 10 to 1 countdown. With every descending number, you will feel more and more relaxed. 10, 9, 8, 7. Feel going deeper. 6, 5, 4, 3. You are deeply relaxed. 2, 1. You are now at a deeper, healthier level of mind and body. attention to various parts of your body to make you even more relaxed at a deeper, healthier level of mind. Relax your head. Relax your forehead. Your eyes. Feel your eyelids getting heavier. Relax your face, your tongue, your jaw. Relax your throat, your neck. Relax your shoulders. Take a deep breath. Relax your chest. Relax your back. Feel the feeling of relaxation flow gently downwards from the base of your neck to your tailbone. Relax your arms and hands. Relax your abdomen, your waist, your thighs, your knees, calves, and your feet. You are now deeply relaxed. I am going to guide you through the process of creative visualization. Bring to mind a goal that you want to achieve. What is your goal? For a moment, think about why this goal is important to you. Why does it matter to you? And now, we will spend not more than a minute focusing on your current situation. What is it right now that is stopping you from achieving the goal? It's okay to feel the feeling, the emotions. Is it fear? Is it anxiety? Is it a lack of confidence? A lack of self-esteem? What is it? Let the feeling emerge. Don't be afraid to bring this feeling out. Does it feel like a tightness in your chest? Or a knot in your stomach? It's okay to let the discomfort surface. And now, you're going to erase this off. Imagine your worry, your tension is on a whiteboard and you have an eraser. Vigorously erase it out. You may use your hands. Vigorously erase it. See it getting lighter, fading away. It's almost gone. It's disappeared now. Fast forward to the exact day now when your goal has already been accomplished. At this point, we don't care about how did we get there, what happened on the way. Just know for a fact that your goal is already accomplished. How do you feel today? Where are you at this point? Make the scene vivid. I will guide you to make the scene more clear, vivid, detailed. Who are you with? Is it day or night? What can you hear? What are people saying to you today? Where are you? What are the colors around you? What kind of textures can you experience? Perhaps someone's giving you a hug or shaking your hand. Feel that feeling. What can you smell? What kind of ambience is it around you? Absorb yourself in that situation. Hear the noises. And now, let the emotions sink deeper in. How does it feel to have come this far? Take a deep breath. Breathe in that feeling of accomplishment, confidence. Know that you are deserving of this success. Know that you were capable. We all have experienced this feeling in the past when we accomplished our goals. It's a wonderful feeling. I will let you linger in this emotion for a bit longer. Feel how light you feel, how relaxed your body is. And now, bring to mind two people that will benefit from your goal attainment. Who are they? How are they feeling? How have they been benefited? What are they saying to you? Perhaps they're grateful to you, proud of you, patting you on the back, giving you a hug or a high five. How has their life improved from your goal? Enjoy the feeling. Enjoy the feeling of you deserving the success. And now it's time to thank the universe, higher intelligence, God, whatever it is that you believe in, for taking you along this journey which has resulted in your goal being accomplished. Say a small heartfelt prayer of thanks to this source energy. Say to source energy, may this or something better come to me, so it will be. Believe in it. I am now slowly going to count from 1 to 5. At the count of 5, you will slowly come out of the meditation, feeling relaxed, better than before, happier than before, confident, feeling amazing. 1, 2, 3, coming out slowly. 4, 5, wide awake, feeling fine. feeling amazing, feeling confident. So how was the meditation, guys? Did you enjoy it? Do you want to say something in the chat window?
Thank you. Thank you, Gayatri, for your comments. Thank you. Your objective is on the way. Yes, that's perfect. Thank you.
So the key thing to remember from this meditation is that the more you practice, remember your subconscious cannot differentiate between imagination and what's real. So why not practice the imagination? Why not do a mental rehearsal? The more you do it, you are so transformed that you actually won't, you live in this expectancy, not expectation, but expectancy that your goal is on the way to you. And I think the expectancy makes you kind of almost detached from it because you're certain it's going to happen to you. And that actually makes it manifest quicker than you think. Shall we move on to the next?
Yes,
slide?
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. So the next one is the second simple tool for creating your dreams. It's about journaling, and I will let Jayanti take charge.
Can you share the screen again?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So, before we get started on journaling, I would like to know from some of you, are you currently into a journaling practice? Do you journal? What do you journal about? Just write something in the chat window and let me know what you journal, what your journaling practice is about. Your emotions, feelings, yeah, that's a great thing about your emotional experiences. It's particularly really important to journal about our emotions and what we feel. Some ideas about journaling and what you think of journaling as a practice. Now, I want to speak specifically about journaling for our goals. And there are a few things that I want to address. Some of them are pretty basic. First thing is about finding time for journaling. And I know a lot of you complain about we don't have time because journaling is something that requires for you to sit down and actually spend some time in writing. So the first thing that I want to tell you about this is that when you journal about something, you're orienting your mind to be in a more organized and peaceful state. And you're rewiring yourself to have lesser anxiety, and you're setting a very positive frame of mind. So in a way that helps you becoming more and more productive. So essentially by spending those 20 or 15 minutes in journaling, you're actually being more productive, and in the long run you're actually saving more time. Mm-hmm. So that's my piece of advice for you. If you think that I don't have time to sit and journal, just find 10 or 15 minutes to sit down and channel your thoughts, and it'll really make a difference in terms of your long-term productivity. And the second thing is about journaling by writing versus journaling than typing. So this is a really cool thing that I came across, and it says, the pen is mightier than the keyboard. And it sounds like a funky quote that I came up with by myself, but it's actually the title of a research paper. So if you go and look it up, you will see that there's actually quite evident scientific research that says that writing down with a pen helps in some kind of our neurological pathways. It slows down the process, and that process is also associated with memories. So it's really just rewiring your brain when you're doing the exercise of physically writing down. And it's also a very personal thing to do when you write in your own handwriting. So even if you're not particularly fond of your own handwriting, it's your handwriting, so it's very personal. So I would suggest that if you're environment friendly, if you're conscious about the environment, you can get one of those writing tablets in which you can scribble notes digitally, but it will be in your own handwriting. So those are some ideas that I want to share with you. The other thing is about journaling for goals and setting a goal. And I've come up with this small exercise that I want to do with all of you today. And it's a really simple exercise that I've derived from some of my own readings and some of the personal growth things that I've studied for myself. And one of the things that I borrowed this idea from is called flow. So it's called the Flow Genome Project, and I've got the references at the end of the webinar. So if you want to go more into detail about it, and there's a lot of research about how to attain a flow state, how to remain in a flow state to be more productive. And the second thing is the idea called ikigai. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this Japanese philosophy where your skills and your passion and your what the world needs, everything sort of integrates together and falls into like these small intersections. And you really want to find that intersection where you want to do those things. So based on these two ideas, I've come up with a small exercise for you to do. So I want you to make a list of 3 things at the moment. The first thing is curiosity. Okay, why curiosity? Because curiosity is a strong driver for passion. Something that you're naturally curious about, that will drive you towards being passionate about it. So what are you curious about? It could be anything. It could be you're curious about history, you're curious about space, you're curious about um, I don't know, something like how the mind works. So what are you really deeply curious about? So make you need to have, ideally you need to have a long list of say 25 things at least. But for the sake of thinking now, you can think about 1 or 2 things that you're deeply curious about. The second thing is, what do you care about? And this is really important, because what do you intrinsically care about? Do you care about young children? Do you care about the environment? Do you care about poverty? Do you care about animals? You know, are you a person who really cares about animals? Do you care about plants? What do you care about inherently? So think about what you care about, what you're curious about. And the third thing is, think about some inherent skills that you have. It can be evidence from what people have told you. It can be something that you enjoy doing, you know, that you're good at. It could be playing a musical instrument. Maybe you just have a knack for music, you have an ear for music. Maybe it's public speaking. Maybe you're just really good at speaking, you're naturally communicative. uh, or it could be art, something that you love to do also, knowing in your heart that you're really good at this. Or it could be anything as simple as having beautiful hair. You know, you want to be a hairstylist and you think about, oh, I have beautiful hair, lots of people have told me about it. So think about some inherent quality or skill that you have that you feel really confident about, and you want to make a long list of these. But for the sake of thinking, for now you can think about 1 or 2 things. So can anybody come up with an example of so I want these 3 to integrate together and come up with something. So if 3 of these can integrate together, what what outcome can possibly come out of it? So does anyone have an example of it? Margot?
Yeah, I have one. What I'm curious about is astrology. I really like knowing more and more about astrologic sign and so on. And I dive in the subject I don't know, every several times a week. I really like that because for my personal journey, it helped me understand myself better and know myself better. So it's been quite an important tool in my life. And the thing I really am passionate about is generally helping others. I really like helping others and trying to give them advice and trying to make them understand themselves better. And the third one, my skill, is actually something that came up not too long ago for me, and it's someone that told me, actually several people within 2 weeks told me that I had a cute voice, which for me it was a bit of a surprise because I cannot hear myself, so I don't know. Um, so I guess I could use that voice to help people reach them using, for example, doing a podcast using my voice, and I could talk about astrology and trying to help people through that way.
Yes, I love that. And I think lots of people, I think you'll have lots of followers from India at least, because Indian people really, really love birth charts and astrology and this type of stuff. And I've got some comments for you that says you really do have a really nice voice.
Oh,
And I
thank you.
especially love your French accent. So,
Thank you.
a podcast about birth charts in a French accent. It's going to be a total hit in India for sure.
I
So,
think I think it may happen
I
in the
would love.
future.
Yes, I love that idea. So I think it's really cool what kind of stuff can come up with it. And what is really important in this is the concept also of autonomy, of having some autonomous time dedicated to yourself. I'm not going to ask someone like Margot, because I know she's doing a PhD, and I'm not going to tell her, Margot, quit your PhD and start your podcast right now. So it doesn't work that way. But what I would say is to have that autonomous time where she's not reporting to a supervisor, where she's spending that time by herself doing something that she really cares about, that she is deeply curious about, and she has the skill for. So if she can devote 3 or 4 hours of a week or any amount of time that she decides in doing so, and she can keep a track of it, that autonomous time where she gets to do what she wants is really important. So yeah, I really encourage you all to keep doing this exercise, keep revisiting your goals. There are some other methods also. There are some other recommendations that I want to give. One is a life book, which is sort of an assessment of 12 areas of your life. Because when you're setting goals, you want to set goals for all these areas in your life, and you want to reassess them every 6 or 8 months. Personally, I like to do it every 6 or 8 months, where I go and revisit, do these assessments again. And the second thing is valued living questionnaire. So it's about reassessing where you stand in terms of your own values. So I definitely encourage you to do both of them. The references are at the end of the webinar. These are the two things. And about what you want to journal in. So you can, like I said, about the notebook, digital books, and if you're a stationery junkie like me and Kalyani, you've probably got like heaps of all this Kiki K stuff. Kiki K is one of my absolute favorite. She's got really nice Swedish design stationery, so you can have a look at their stuff. It's already like pre-made themes and templates. So definitely indulge yourself in these things for sure.
Perfect.
Okay, Karan, let's move on.
Yeah, thank you for those amazing tips on journaling. So I quickly want to recap what we learned in this second webinar today. So we talked about goals and the problems we have with goal setting, and often not asking the question to ourselves about why do we want this goal, because I think the why is like the self-revealing question. It'll mainly help you to identify if that goal is truly yours or if it's a borrowed goal. As Jayanti said, if you become a victim of this comparison junkie thing. So it's a really good idea to ask yourself why that goal is important. Visualize your goals with full capacity of your emotions. As I mentioned, you need to do the creative visualization. You could do it at least once a day for a month, 2 months, and then even with just doing it for a month, I think you'll already start seeing some really good benefits. The important part there is to visualize it after as if you've already achieved the goal. So after the goal attainment, and then to feel that emotion of the accomplishment, the confidence that you gain from your goal being already accomplished. The more you mentally rehearse that feeling, the more effective it gets. And then Jayanti talked about journaling, which is quite a simple thing, and using your own handwriting, which will make it personal. And I think you need to write down things that you're grateful for, especially when you're on this journey of goal attainment. There are tiny milestones that you hit, tiny wins, and everyone forgets. So when you have a record and you look back, you will be amazed at all the tiny wins. And rereading those tiny wins in your own handwriting actually brings back those emotions. So again, remember, the subconscious mind is not knowing the difference between reality and the mental rehearsal or the looking back at those points of gratitude. That brings us to the end of our session with the two simple tools, which I hope you found useful. And this is a slide that we put together for handy references from today. So I'll let Jayanti tell you a little bit more about the references.
So the two free references that I spoke to you about that you can freely find online are Life Book by Mind Valley. It's a really cool assessment. You can just Google it. You'll be able to find it online, and keep doing it every few months. I would recommend 6 or 8 months. To see where you stand, and it's really comprehensive. The other thing is Valued Living Questionnaire, which is more of a psychological tool. So a lot of people do this in companies, and to find a partner where you want to find people who have similar values as you, but it's a really good starting point to actually know where you stand in terms of your own values and understanding yourself better. So it's a really nice exercise. Then the two journal Instagram accounts that I follow is Inspiring Journals, which is really cool. It's colorful. And the second thing is called My Life Journal by Anna Juma, which is also really good. I love her illustrations. They're really simple and really nice. There's also the other two references. Kalyani, do you want to speak about them?
Yes, so the creative visualization, there's actually a book by the name by Shakti Gawain. So you might like to explore that book. I think you can download via Audible, or it's available to purchase via Amazon as well. Or you could check out your local library, you might find it there for free even. Then this last reference is artofwellbeing.com. I looked at this website recently, and it has a series of blog posts that are explained in very simple words. So there's lots of concepts on personal development without going into the nitty-gritty or the details. So it's really simple language, some really good topics, and it gives you links to details if you would like to go deeper, but quite handy as well. So that brings us to the end of our second webinar, and I'm really grateful for all those who have attended. I hope you got value out of the meditations and the tools, and we would love to hear your feedback. When you start practicing these tools, we'll love to hear how you went with these. Jayanti, do you want to say some concluding words?
Yes, we all are living in really difficult times, and we could all use a little bit of boost of positivity in our lives. So please look up our Instagram page, Teja Discover Radiant, and we're always posting these little nuggets of positivity just to uplift you during the day. And also, you can write to us on Instagram and stay connected with us. Let us know what you want to hear about. Give us your feedback, and let's hope to see each other soon.
Thank you again for your participation, and I'll let Sachin say the last word.
Wow, that was great. Thank you. Thank you, Jayanti. Thank you, Kalyani. And thank you, everybody, for joining us once again. Before we go, I just wanted to let you all know that we are going to record this presentation and put it on our YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is also known as Teja Discover Radiant with an underscore. So I look forward to see you all next time. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful
Bye.
week. Bye-bye.